Good morning, and welcome to Story Time with Mr. Limada. How are you doing this lovely Thursday morning? Good morning to you, yes, and today we are reading Mama Africa. How Miriam Makeba spread hope with her song. So please do join me for that one. Yes, sometimes the message is heavy, but it is very necessary for us to share and talk about. Yes, let's delve back into this historical and see what we can do to make our future better. Avoid those mistakes that have been made in the past. Good morning to you. Thank you so much to everybody that is joining in. Leslie, Isabella, and Luis, good morning to you. And how are you doing, Donnie? So glad you could join us today. Anders and Ingrid, good morning to you. And how are you doing, Len? Good morning. Miss Veda, good morning to you. So glad you could join in. Thank you for the support as always. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Santino, how are you doing today? And good morning to you, Katalea, and good morning to you, Desi. How are you doing? I hope you're having a lovely morning today. Good morning to you. Clay and Rocco, good morning to you. How is Long Beach today? So glad you could join in. Good morning to you. Yes, so glad you could join in. And thank you. Good morning to you, Chriselle. How are you doing? Good morning. Thank you, Ingrid. Thank you, Anders. I am great. Good morning to you, Camille and Jayada, joining us from Sunnyvale, right? Good morning to you. And how are you doing today? Yes, so glad you could join in. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Isabella. Thank you, Leslie. And thanks to you, Luis, right here in Oakland. I'm so glad you joined in. You are with us. Veronica Pittman, how are you doing today? And good morning to you, Callie, and good morning to you, Paris. Hopefully you are having a wonderful morning. I am, and so I'm trying to make sure that everybody joins me on that train. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Alexander, right here in Auckland. How are you? Thank you for letting us know you're with us. Good morning, Absa. How are you doing today? Glad you could join in. Good morning. Thank you, everybody. Yes, get settled, get ready, and today we are on for a ride with Mama Africa. Let's find out what that one is about. Good morning, Nora and Olive out in Hayward. Good morning to you. How are you doing? Thank you for saying hi to me. How are you doing? And letting me know where you are. Good morning to you, Oscar and Ruben, right here in Oakland. How are you doing today? Hopefully you are having yourself a wonderful morning, and I hope that the rest of your day will be a good one. Good morning to you. Awesome. Good morning. And yes, good morning to you, Miss Price. Thanks, Miss Veda, for doing that. Good morning. All right. Ellen and Jayada loves Ellen. Good morning. Oh, yes. No, I'm excited. As the day gets closer, I get more and more excited. So, yes, we'll see how that was tomorrow. Good morning. Good morning to you, Lacey. How are you doing today? So good you could join us. Good morning. Good to know. Sunny and beautiful as always in Long Beach. Awesome. I am jealous. Auckland is cloudy, but it is still good. Good morning to you. Desmond joining us from Oklahoma. How are you doing today? And how are you, Jessica? Good morning. So glad you could join in. Ellen in Chicago. #1 fan in Chicago. How are you doing? Yes. Thunder and lightning and hail in Chicago. What is happening? Be safe, Ellen. Thank you so much for that update. Good morning. Thank you, Veronica. Good morning to you. Ada, Lady Elsa, how are you doing? Good morning to you, Owen, and good morning to you, Ilya, and good morning to you, Stefan. So glad you could join in. Thank you. I am doing great. And good morning to you, Betty, and good morning to you, Alejandro. Let us know where you're joining us from. Good morning to you. So glad you could join in. And yes, good morning to you, Judah, DJ, and Blaze. How are you doing right here in Oakley? Good morning to you. So glad you could join in. Olive oil, good morning to you. How are you doing? Yes, good morning, good morning, good morning. So glad you're here. Good morning to you, Melissa. And of course, good morning to you, Nolan. How are you doing, buddy? Good morning, good morning. So glad you could join in. Owen and Ada, yes, twice to make it even better. Good morning to you. Harmony, how are you doing? Please let us know who's joining in with you. I am so glad you're with us today. And yes, thank you for all those years you spent teaching and doing great wonders for education and our kids. Good morning to you. Yes. And we have, Makeba joining us. You were named after Miriam Makeba. What an honor joining us from London, but now we're in Fremont. Oh, nice. So visiting us right here close by. Good morning to you. Thank you so much, Makeba. I am excited to read this book with you. Amazing, beautiful. And good morning to you, artists right here in Oakland. And you say, yay, Mama Africa. Yes. Miriam Makeba, the great. So we'll be reading about her. Good morning to you. Thank you, Alejandro, for letting me know where you are. You are in Livermore. Good morning to you. And also another person who's in Livermore is, Glenn and Louise. Glenn and Louise, good morning to you out there in Livermore. Thank you so much. Yes, Livermore representing really well. Good morning to you, Amado, right here in Oakland. How are you doing? And good morning to you, Zaire. How are you doing? Emerson in the house. My neighbor right here. Good morning to you. And good morning to you, Naima. Good morning to you, Nia. And good morning to you, Cairo, out in Antioch. Good morning. Yes, let us get ready for Mama Africa. How Miriam Makeba spread hope with her song. We'll be finding out about that in a minute. But before we go into that, of course, just a few announcements and then we get started. And remember that yes, tomorrow we are reading Down by the Station, but one lucky person gets to walk away with this book at the end of the reading. There'll be a drawing, and it is a signed copy by our very own Jen Vedder. So be sure to tune in for that. And everybody that has said hello to Mr. Limara, you will be entered into the draw and hopefully get to walk away with this book. And that is by our very own Jen Riggs Vedder. Good morning. And yes, our author spotlight, please do check out our page, is Veronica Pittman of the Adventures of Paris and Cali series. Do be sure to check her out and of course buy yourself a copy of the book. But good morning, and right now we are going to get started. Oh, just a few fun facts too about Miriam Makeba is that Miriam Makeba was the first African recording artist to win a Grammy Award. So if you didn't know, now you know. Yes, and because of her activism, the fight against apartheid, Miriam Makeba's citizenship was revoked by the South African government. But of course, many people were up supporting her, and indeed countries came up and gave her honorary citizenships. Countries including Algeria, Belgium, Guinea, and Ghana. And yes, of course, we know that she fought alongside many greats like Albertina Sisulu, Walter Sisulu, Oliver Tambo, and of course, Nelson Mandela, many, many more. You can please go ahead and read on history of Miriam Makeba, but today we're going to have a little glimpse into that. Good morning. Let us get ready for Mama Africa. How Miriam Makeba spread hope with her song. Let us find that out. Miriam sang as soon as she could talk and danced as soon as she could walk. She sang folk songs as her mother played the drums. She sang pop songs as her brother and his friends, with her brother and his friends. She sang hymns with her sisters in the Sunday school choir. Music gets deep inside me and starts to shake things up, she said. And from deep inside, Miriam began to shake up the world. At church, her choir teacher tells Miriam she is free to sing out as loud as she wants. But out in the world, Miriam is not free. Unless people have white skin, they are not free. Police raid their homes. Sometimes they are arrested. Sometimes they never return. The Basses, the white people who rule South Africa, Miriam's people are just Bantus. Bantus, as if all people with darker skin were the same. Miriam knows better. They are Xhosa, Ndebele, Zulu, Swazi, Tswana, and so many more. They each have their own songs and languages and histories. But they do have one thing in common. The Basses take away their freedom, so they are all Miriam's people. They have one another, and they will not live this way forever. Umoya, she sings, spirit. The Bantu spirit must be broken, the Basses decide. They pass even harsher laws of apartheid to keep the races separate, crushing the rights of black people and trying to silence their voices. But Miriam's voice will not be silenced. She goes to the big city, Johannesburg, and sings even protest songs in isiXhosa, isiZulu, Setswana, and more because the Basses don't understand those languages. It is risky, but Miriam has listened to the protest songs of American singers like Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald, and she feels brave. Who can keep us down as long as we have our music? Miriam asks. Bravely, she sings out, like a nightingale. Soon, she is so popular that everyone wants to hear her. One night, she meets a man. She can tell he will be a great leader. His name is Nelson Mandela. But Miriam is worried for him. The Freedom Charter he and others are writing argues that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, black and white. Everyone must have freedom, it says. Freedom? You have no freedom, the police shout. Black people in South Africa must get permission to be out of their own neighborhoods and must carry passes to prove it. If they don't show their passes to the police, they are arrested and jailed. Sometimes the police say that their passes are not valid, and sometimes Miriam and her friends are thrown in jail. Still, that doesn't stop Miriam from singing. Singing always gives her strength, but one night, as she and her group drive home from the concert, there is a terrible crash. Miriam and her friends are hurt. One of them very badly, and they need help. Help comes, but the ambulance takes only the people in the other car. They are white. Miriam's friend Victor is black. By the time Miriam finds help, Victor is dead. Dad, why did this man have to die? She sings. Itiala la madoda. Miriam is so angry. Her anger fuels her fight to stop apartheid. Surely other people in the world would help if only they knew. She decides to sing in a secret movie against apartheid to those outside South Africa so that they can know what the Basses are like. It is dangerous. Many people, like Nelson Mandela, have been arrested for telling the truth. She hopes that the whole world will watch. Watch out, the Basses tell Miriam. They suspect she is acting in the anti-apartheid movie. They have no proof yet, but they warn her. beware. Beware the wood, she sings back to the Prime Minister. Ndondemnyama. To escape South Africa, Miriam Makeba disguises herself in a nanny uniform and boards a plane bound for Europe. For the first time in her life, she is free of apartheid. She sings in London and Los Angeles and New York about what the bosses are doing to her people back home. But she cannot sing too loudly. Her whole family is still in South Africa. What will the bosses do to her people back home? Home. South Africa is no longer your home, the bosses tell her. If she ever tries to return to South Africa, they will put her in jail. Even when she finds out her mother is sick, the bosses will not let her back in. In tears, Miriam sings, Senzenina, what have we done? She knows her people have done nothing to deserve what the bosses do to them. She stays in America and turns her tears into songs against the bosses. The bosses pass more laws to stop people from protesting. They arrest thousands and jail many. 2 of Miriam's uncles are killed in the struggle for freedom. The bosses simply say, we do not intend to get upset by what is being said in all ignorance in the outside world. But the outside world is no longer ignorant. They start listening to Miriam's songs. She sings to her people to be brave. Jolinkomo. She sings of police raids. Kwauleza. She sings of her people being jailed. Lakushona Ilanga. She sends them strength with her song. Her song becomes so strong that she is invited to the United Nations to speak about South Africa. From this stage, she can tell the whole world. The whole world is listening. Miriam feels very small in the giant building. Her voice is small. Her voice is small too, like a nightingale's. But as she thinks about her mother, her family, her people, she finds strength. I appeal to you, to all the countries of the world, to do everything you can to stop the coming tragedy. She thinks about Nelson Mandela, who can lead her people to freedom, and her voice gets stronger. I appeal to you to save the lives of our leaders, to empty the prisons of all those who should never have been in there. As she speaks, her voice grows louder and louder. Larger and larger until it fills the huge chamber and spills into the ocean and wraps around the world. Her voice is like the roar of a lion, a mother lion of South Africa, Mama Africa. Mama Africa, she sings for us. Her people hear her roar. The bosses burn her music. But they cannot stop her song. On hidden radios, her people listen. Listen. She travels the world, America, Europe, Africa, asking people to help their brothers and sisters in South Africa. South Africans, many of them, both black and white, protest apartheid, marching, striking, speaking, and writing against it. Some black protesters must flee the bosses. They go to Northern Africa and find Mama Africa. Mama Africa helps the refugees, young men and women, even children. She gives them food, clothes, and song. When her song becomes too loud for some, they say she is not a singer, but a politician. I am no politician, she says. I just see what I think is wrong and what is right. And then something very wrong happens that shows the world Mama Africa is right. In the township of Soweto, school children protest being taught in Afrikaans, the language of apartheid. They are peaceful. They are unarmed. But the police shoot and kill many of them. Children! The world is horrified by that act. Horrified, Mama Africa watches as protests continue. Children are jailed and her people fall one by one. Children are jailed and her people fall one by one, beaten down. She rises up with her song, Soweto Blues. Musicians around the world follow their songs. It's wrong. Johannesburg, free Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela is still in prison. Mama Africa must be his voice and keep his people strong. More and more, black, white, Asian, people of all races join the anti-apartheid groups in South Africa. Allies around the world join her song. Her song is strong. Mama Africa will not give up. She will see her people free. Give us our land, Mbayeke. Voices everywhere grow so loud that the bosses have to listen. They are losing allies. They are losing money and power. Apartheid is crumbling. Mayubuye Africa. Come back, Africa. Mama Africa roars. Mandela hears her roar. He says he will help the bosses find a way to end apartheid and share the country equally. The bosses must finally face the truth. All people of South Africa must have their freedom. Freedom! Mama Africa watches Mandela walk out of prison. She watches the laws of apartheid fall one by one. And she sees her people stand tall. She sings with joy. Finally, her people are free. Free at last, Mandela cries, and the crowds cheer. Now everyone in South Africa is free. Now everyone can go where they want, live where they want, and be who they want. Now Mama Africa can come home. Home! Mama Africa was finally home. She sang in celebration. She sang for the Xhosa. She sang for the Zulu and Ndebele and Swazi and all the races. She sang for her mother. She sang for the children. Her voice flowed down the Limpopo River out to the ocean and around the world. It even reached up to the heavens as she sang together with her people. Nkosi Sikelele Africa. God bless Africa. The end. Well, kids, I hope you found that powerful message appealing to you. I certainly did. Yes, it is very, very heartwarming. Parents and everybody that is watching, every adult that is watching, please, please, I urge you, guide our students. Go back to history. Talk to our children about it. Guide them. Teach them history so that we may not make mistakes today and in the future. We do not want another Trayvon Martin. We do not want another Freddie Gray. We do not want another Ahmaud Arbery. Please, do your part. And for you kids out there, I am encouraging you to make your world a better place for everyone, for your sister, for your brother, for your mother, for your family, for your friends at school, for your community. We have a duty to be good citizens. Learn your history and let us not make the same mistakes that we've made in the past. Thank you so much for joining in, everybody, today. I really found that message powerful and much, much needed. Thank you so much. Thank you to people like Miriam Makeba, who fought so hard that people can be free, that people can have rights. We know that apartheid and segregation are gone officially, but the effects live on. There's communities that are still suffering from that whole era. So it is up to us to play our part. Thank you so much for joining Storytime with Mr. Limada. Let's be back again tomorrow when we are back with an exciting story, and it is Down by the Station, written by Jennifer Riggs Vedder. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. And I will see you again tomorrow. Much love from me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please do have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.